Welcome to Vice and Easy, your podcast for all things Miami Vice, with your host, Marina. Hello, and welcome back to Vice and Easy, and welcome to Season 5. We're here, and I am actually looking forward to Season 5. I'm aware that things are not as fresh and as high quality as they were in the first few seasons, especially seasons 1 and 2. But I'm really trying to look, and I would really try this with season 4, is to look at it with a brand new lens. Like, let's just pretend to myself that this is a brand new TV show. It's only when I watch reruns on Pluto TV from season 1 to, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's a little jarring, and not in a bad way, but it just, I want to treat the material the best I can. And I also don't have the wit to be super snarky and make it good. So here we are. I'm looking forward to seeing where things go from here, because this season is the season that I have the least amount of recollection or memory about. And so some things are going to be, not want to say new to me, but a little fresher to me. And I'm excited to look at season 5 with a different lens. And I don't want to compare it to season 1. You can already tell right off the bat when the credits roll, goodbye Jan Hammer. And you can see that it's very different. I'm really not a fan of these ponytails, but we are here. You know, a lot of things happened. And if you think about, 4 or 5 years ago, it was a much different place. 4 years ago was during COVID. 5 years ago was before. So I'm trying to put that into how I view this show, that not only a lot of things happen, but especially in like the later part of the 80s, like a lot of things happened across the globe, at home in America, and things changed. I don't say that they changed for the better or worse, but they've changed, and so has Miami Vice. So I'm going to try to do justice to season 5, and thank you for following along, and thank you for joining me on this ride. Let's have some fun with it, because we are definitely getting a different vibe here. We're getting kind of, I don't want to say a scattered shot, but you can see it in the gallery, which you can see at Imager, in the link for the descriptor notes of each and every episode. Also, sorry, I was so much for being on point here. Imager, now I understand why they don't answer any of my tickets, and also why they keep messing and deleting my posts. It keeps getting flagged for explicit content. And I'm like, I'm screenshotting a network television show from the 1980s. There is nothing explicit. There's no nudity. This is network TV in the 80s. But I think that's why whatever algorithm, whatever AI tool they're using just keeps flagging my stuff for cute girls in swimsuits and hot guys shirtless and wearing snakeskin print vests. So this is what I have to deal with. You could tell I've had a week emotionally. So I'm going to try. I've been shaking it off, but let's see how this goes. If you're still here, if you haven't just yeeted your phone out of the car and you still want to listen to me, thank you. Let's get down to it. This week, we are breaking down Season 5, Episode 1, entitled Hostile Takeover. Per IMDb, the synopsis is as follows. Crockett, as Burnett, murders and manipulates his way to the top of the crime organization he works for. Now, like I said, we'll set the scene. We get some weird aerial shots of the city, but it's very different. Number one, we're not focusing on South Beach because we can see the Miami mover. We can see, I don't want to say monorail, the people mover. And I'm actually excited. I will actually ride it next time in Miami. So I will keep you posted. We get some cool overhead shots of some beautiful old cars. Then we focus on a sequin dress, a gentleman, and a metal detector. This is a party, and wait till we get inside. Look at the gifts at Imager of the fire dancers, the fire breathers, the outfits. It is wild, and this is all for a woman named Celeste.
I am the doctor. Please report to the dance floor.
I will say I always appreciate a report to the dance floor message. Now, I'll play the song, the little clip of the song, which is called Underneath the Radar by Underworld, as we're getting introduced to this party. Again, please go to Imager to see all the wild gifts from this party.
Oh man, we dance underneath the radar. We live underneath the radar. We live underneath the radar.
Now, that beat kind of reminds me of Amy Stewart's Knock on Wood. Especially in the beginning part, I couldn't play the whole clip because I keep getting all these YouTube notifications that I'm getting copyright, blah, 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 blah. I haven't had anything struck or taken down, but I've had to edit a lot of stuff afterwards, and I've had a lot of stuff blocked in other countries, and it's something I don't want to deal with having a lot of content blocked. So if you notice that the clips are shorter, that is why. I used to do 15 seconds exactly. Now I'm kind of cutting it to like 12, 13 just to be safe. So as this beautiful, beautiful party, I must say there is not an ugly person at this party. There are some ugly styles, but like this is the creme de la creme of parties. We have a very eccentrically dressed gentleman outside, starting his pep talk thusly.
Smell that? You know what that is? That's blood. There's blood in the air.
We will soon learn that this wildly dressed man, very charismatic, I believe, is El Gato. And this guy, I was like, he looks so familiar. He's such a prolific character actor. And of course, he was kind of in the same circle. So he's been in Wise Guy, Crime Story, obviously Miami Vice, and New York Undercover, which I kind of like consider like a little family branch off. So I was like, this makes a lot of sense. Also, please note, since you've all been following along, that he is talking to a bunch of guys dressed in catering attire, because this is very important later on. But let's go back and check into what's going on inside, because I respect this man's ethos.
Our sales are off 15% last month. Gato is cutting deeper into our market.
What my genius son and my Ivy League lawyer refuse to understand is that there's a time and a place for everything. Now is the time for party, not for business.
Thank you. Even sober, this is an ethos I will stand with. This is what I will get behind. Then we get an interaction between stepmother and son. Again, they keep saying his son, Miguel, Mickey, is like college boy. I'm like, yo, this man is like 35. I'm sorry. Yes, he did go to college 12 years ago. Just, yeah, and the ponytail. This guy, I actually looked him up. He's won a Tony Award. You will not believe that watching this episode. But let's continue. So stepmother and son, she's kind of like, oh, come here, give me a big kiss. They kiss in front of the dad. But again, like jokingly, but it's really weird and off-putting. Then Oscar, aka Papa Carrera, and then Mickey Carrera is the son. Papa goes outside to basically do what every immigrant father does, as Sonny overhears in this next clip.
Kid, it must be wonderful to be young and to know everything.
Then let's go back inside as a giant cake is being rolled over to Celeste. Now, Celeste looks familiar. She is in one of my favorite movies of all time, To Live and Die in L.A. Her real name is Deborah Foyer. She was also married to Mickey Rourke, which I just found that out. I knew Mickey Rourke's other ex-wife, Carrera Otis. I did not know that fun fact, but we'll get to that later on in the episode. Super beautiful, incredibly tall, incredibly thin, incredibly glamorous. As Oscar is, giving her the knife, like, oh, cut in. A naked man emerges from the cake and starts dancing. But remember that cater waiter gang? Well, they make them ways into the party. Start shooting. Again, I made a gif of this. And you just see the stripper, like, took, like race down. It looks like he's been shot. It's just like him dancing and then him hitting the. Oh my god! But we do get a great shot of Crockett basically throwing his body onto the birthday cake and firing at them, killing them, and then we get into the credits. One thing we're going to say about the credits, obviously we don't see Jan Hammer, but guess we do see Don Johnson, who's directed this episode. Now, at OCB, Castillo's giving Tubbs, Gina, Trudy, and Zwitek a rundown of what went down and who they're looking for. And I have gotten messages that I make fun of the technology. I was actually impressed that the camera caught the high resolution of the computer so well. These are way more advanced than I thought. I don't remember getting pictures this good on any of my video games or anything before, the internet was widely available. This is the late 80s. I am very much impressed at this very fancy Mac computer. You can see the Macintosh logo in the bottom left. As we see, the GIF I made is of the son, again, college boy. I also wondered, I've made a note, where do they get these pictures? I understand that Interpol will have, like driver's license pictures and recon photos, but like these look like headshots. I'm sure they are headshots. I'm sure it's the actors' headshots, but like I was really impressed. Castillo, again, he's telling them to go after it and to look into the Carrera family. Then Trudy asks about Sonny. And then when Castillo replies that, Sonny is still wanted for killing a cop, Zwitek has his back.
Guy that got whacked, a cop, he was so crooked, I heard they had to screw him into the ground.
Yeah. He was in Manolo's pocket.
He was still a cop. You know how I feel about Sonny. But that doesn't change the situation.
Now, it's season 5. Everyone's back from summer vacation. And like we mentioned last season, there was a writer's strike, so it was a delayed summer vacation. They're filming a little bit later in September, and you can tell, their hairstyles are all different. Fortunately, Zwitek does not pull off the hockey mullet, but kudos for him for trying something new. Let's check in on Burnett/Crockett, shall we? He is once again at a palatial mansion of some very wealthy rich guy who we met, Oscar Carrera, and his beautiful woman just walking around in a swimsuit looking like $1 million. Crockett in his new sunglasses. I have a note that I needed to ID them. I forgot. I now have to change the intro of the podcast. Oh my God. Just, they don't do it for me. They don't do it for me. I don't like the blue lenses. I've had a lot of cool blue lens sunglasses. These are not it. So speaking of Oscar Carrera and his son, Mickey, they're having a meeting with their other, import-export business owners. Let's check in with them.
It's time to invest in the future. We need a new fleet of Scarabs.
That's right. At least 10 new boats. And here are the specs. On the DC-9s and the Gulfstreams. They're quick and reliable.
With airstrips in the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, we can double our load, double our profits.
What do you say, Burnett?
We need the boats. No question. And planes are quicker. But there's a downside to consider. First, there's the DEA's new radar balloons. Then there's pirating from our competition. They're using Stinger missiles now. The bastards blow the aircraft right out of the sky. Which is a loss of $30 million for the plane and maybe $80 million for the load.
So, we will start with the boats. Planes are too costly. We start with 3 Scarabs, the newer models.
We need 3 times that amount to offset the losses we've already seen.
But you don't stop!
I am laughing again. I'm at the gallery, which is like, wow, I just put so many laughs in for you guys. Oh, whatever. But back to the episode. As this meeting is wrapping up, Oscar Carrera, the dad, he's wearing a white kind of, I don't want to say, just like a sport blazer with a white polo shirt underneath, obviously unbuttoned with a little espresso. And he looks, I don't want to say disheveled, but I just got a really bad angle of him. But I just really love the little espresso. Like, that's just a classy touch. I'm laughing more at the son and Miguel's getup. Please, the puffy blazer, the tie, the striped, not really parachute pants, but kind of parachute pants. And you can also see Crockett's ponytail. Like, just a hot mess. But Burnett, again, wants to get in the last word, and he wants to plant this idea in their heads of revenge on El Gato.
Want is to avenge Gato's little birthday surprise. I've got some ideas. Together, we can hurt this man. When you're ready, come talk to me.
I don't want to say off topic, but with the advances in technology, cell phones, pagers, all that, do people like Sonny Burnett stay in these mansions as kind of like, I don't want to say his girl Fridays, but as that kind of role? Or do you think that's kind of past? I know that there is something about being taken into that world, but then I'm thinking with cell phones, it would only be like one night, one day. I think that it would be hard for it to take someone's cell phone away for like weeks on it. I know a movie just came out about this where they take their cell phones. I didn't see it, but I knew it was part of the plot. So I wonder if you know any goons who have insider knowledge, please let me know. I, for one, am actually pretty curious. And as Burnett's walking out of the meeting, there is Cliff hiding behind the wall. Again, that will be a theme this episode. He proposes working together until Burnett shuts it down.
Tell you, Burnett, you and I ought to talk about going into business sometime.
Doubt it, dog patch. With partners, there's always that ugly moment when you gotta say, one for me, one for you.
Not even if I could bring something serious to the dance?
Such as?
Pretty handy with these.
Yeah, I bet you are. But the Carrera's got plenty of muscle. Besides, muscle is for people who can't negotiate.
I must say, Crockett is very witty, good with one-liners, but so is Burnett. I just like the way that he's giving his all into Burnett. I really like it. Again, some of the choices, more stylistically, I don't agree with, but I do like the character. Now let's go back to the precinct. At OCB, once again, Castillo is in the dark with Tubbs. Tells him that homicide has just called from the army base and that 2 young soldiers were killed in ambush and Stinger missiles were taken. Remember how they just brought up that El Gato's team were using Stinger missiles as part of the piracy. So keep that in mind. Now, this scene, I totally went over my head the first time I watched it. This is the steam room, but here is where I am picking nits. There is a set of stairs up to the steam room. It is all open concept. Number one, if you've been to a steam room trying to climb up stairs that have been steamed and have oil, you're going to probably slip and die. Maybe not good for liability. So I'm assuming this is someone's house and not a gym. 2, I have never been to a steam room that is 2 floors and open concept. I thought the whole point is that you are trapped in this room with a door closed to keep the steam in. Okay. Again, I am being that guy.
Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
I need to set the scene a little bit more. Yeah, so it's this steam ledge. Again, a guy is in a towel walking up the stairs, holding on to the railing. If it was a steam room, he would have slipped and died. I'm just saying, okay, at least there's the railing there. So maybe it is, again, maybe it is. I haven't been to every single steam bath in the world, but we see this guy go up to this very young blonde guy. I don't want to say very young, but very blonde, pale guy, and like put his hands on his shoulders. Nothing is being said. When we see Crockett dressed in a complete suit in a steam room, shoot him. As the body falls to the ground, we see it's a very stylistic shot. I actually really enjoy this episode for that vibe. So we see the blood pool by Crockett's shoes, closed-toed shoes, and then in the back there's a guy who also appears to be dead or just passed out in the steam room. So I was like, did Crockett... I saw the one guy he shot. Did he shoot multiple guys and I just missed that? And then it just kind of ends on this very pale, beautiful Scandinavian face with tons of sweat drops. It took me a while to realize, like, oh, it's El Gato's special friend. This is the word that El Gato uses later, and I'm really hoping I have the clip saved so I can play it. But this clip, I like watched the episode 3 times, and then I went back and like watched it a couple times. I was like, okay, I need to understand how is this advancing the plot, and then now I get it. But being fully dressed in a steam room, psychotic behavior. And so let's check in on El Gato because he is in all gold. He is obviously my wild card pick for fashion. Spoiler alert. He has gold rimmed sunglasses and he's mourning.
He's a friend. Special friend.
He does say it.
I swear, on my brother Manolo's grave. I will not rest until the entire Carrera family rots in hell.
Not to be that person, but his brother's last name is Manolo. Okay, I need to get out of that because otherwise I'm just going to be a negative Nancy. So let's check back in with the Carreras. As she is sunbathing, I did have a gif of it. It is not on my imager. Surprise, surprise. She's sunbathing, and I was trying to get a picture because I wanted to see if it was Australian gold. There is a little Australian flag on this sunscreen, and there used to be this, I think it still exists, but it used to be SPF 4 suntanning oil. I don't think they do that anymore. I think we as a society don't really make SPF 4 anymore since of the rise of skin cancer. But she's, again, like rubbing her beautiful long legs while her stepson, Mickey, is talking with her with an open shirt, just full of hair, which I appreciate. And again, they're just kind of getting weird and flirty. I'm not here for it.
That stuff fries you. Like bacon. It's no good for you.
I like things that aren't good for
I go for men, too.
me. I like your father.
Linda.
And now at this time, he is massaging his stepmother, or the wife of his father's foot, asking her about the kind of men. Yeah, like naturally they're going to fight. So father and son fight as Crockett and Cliff are watching in the wings because we see them exchange money. So clearly this is all going to plan.
Usted no tiene ganas.
Don't touch me, old man. Don't ever touch me.
Come on. Come on, college boy. Come on! Come on! Come on!
Friendly wagers, easy money.
Now let's check back in with El Gato. He is in a limousine. He is sweating his balls off. I don't know if the AC is not working in this limousine or if he's like shaking from withdrawal or whatever, but he's like super coked out. I do love the ring over the silk gloves. That is a look as He is, he's also in a sequin coat. He is really giving his all this episode.
Timing is everything. We kill this Burnett now, and then you bring the body to me.
What's in it for me?
For you. You could be a partner of El Gato. You like that?
All right, so don't at me. I obviously love Jan Hammer, and what he did was very unique and special. But this kind of Melrose Place guitar fade out, that's very on brand for the time that this was coming out. So I don't think he has the same visionary touch that Jan Hammer has, but like he's playing into trends. I get it. But let's go back to the Carreras. Father and son are arguing again. Oh my God. Usted no tiene ganas. Oh, oh my God. I'm sorry. This episode is not supposed to be that funny. But we are here and we are seeing a familiar face. Rico was here undercover as Cooper in his Jamaican accent, wearing quite an interesting outfit to once again make a deal. And Burnett says that he also used to work for Manolo. Do they know each other? We get a little bit of a flashback. So something's there, like the synapses are firing. But Burnett says that he'll call him if he passes inspection. And before Cooper leaves, he's trying to ask him questions. You know, are you down from Miami, Fort Lauderdale? Have you ever been married? And we see these flashbacks, and we see Caitlin, and we see him and Tubbs hug. So we kind of get like a glimmer of hope that there's something there. And as he's kind of feeling these flashbacks, we see him, hair in the wind, at the beach. Again, in a black dress shirt and slacks and shoes on the beach, as we see Celeste, beautiful, long leg Celeste, arrhythmically come out of the water, squeezing the water out of her hair. As she goes to Sonny, she straddles and kisses him. Okay, interesting. So is Crockett just going to do this every week that he's Burnett? Is just going to hook up with a girlfriend of the kingpin that he's working for? And, okay, I don't want to say they're hot because, like, this is clearly a weird relationship. Please, I took 2 gifs of them kissing, and it's just really off-putting. Burnett does... I noticed this in the last episode with Julia Roberts. I'm just like, ugh, it's, like, so rough and, like, kind of gross to look at. And obviously, this wasn't meant to be in GIF format, but 40 years later, here we are. And these are my notes. LOL, what? Are they using her to seduce Mikey to break up the father-son bond? She loves him, question mark. How long has this been going on, question mark? Then, this is super cool. We see a Lamborghini truck, the LM002. What's fun? You know what I learned this nickname was? The Rambo Lambo. Is that fun? They meet up with a bunch of other goons.
Hired goons?
As Crockett proposes to them, I don't want to say a union, but basically a way for them to profit more off of what they're doing currently. Again, getting more people to turn against Carrera.
Well, listen up. I'm gonna stage a little palace revolt against the Carreras. I'm talking about building an organization where the men that do the work are the ones that share in the profit. Let me be a little more specific. Every load that a man brings in, he's gonna take 10% profit. All the rest goes plowed back into the business. As management, I'll take 25%. But the short of it is, each and every one of you gentlemen will be millionaires in about 2 years.
Damn. Never thought I'd see the day when dope dealers would organize.
Why not? Don't you boys take all the risks?
Burnett here is well connected. You can take this organization places it ain't been before.
What the hell we got to lose?
We ain't making diddly now. Looks like you got yourself a deal, Mr. Burnett.
So this is going on at the same time that Celeste is drunkenly dancing outside by the pool, and Miguel shows up and they start kissing. As Burnett is pouring himself what, to my trained eye, looks like 4 or 5 ounces of cognac. So the glass that he's holding, again, you can see this in the gallery, it is huge. That is not a snifter. A snifter is quite small. And I understand you want to, it's shaped, this is not a sniffer. That is a glass. I forget, we used to call it a tulip glass that we would serve beer in. Beer. That looks to be like 4 ounces of cognac. And I guess they just didn't have a snifter ready. And I'm just like, oh my Lord, that is quite a bit of booze. So everything is going according to plan. We have the coup d'etat with the workers. The wife is sleeping with the son and also with Burnett. Not to slut shame, but sleeping with 3 men who are all living in the same house. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going on. Then we cut to Celeste beautifully sleeping in bed in a beautiful robe, as most beautiful kept women are. As she hears someone at the door, she grabs, again, a beautiful gun. Looks like a little bit of ivory on the handle, which is cruel, but it looks really cool in this context. That has a really great line.
One more step, your package is airmail.
It's me.
He starts kissing her in bed. Surprise, surprise. It's almost like he's living in his father's house. So his father finds him in bed and grabs, I think I was just overthinking. I think he grabs his son by the collar, but I thought that he grabbed Mickey by the ponytail. I was like, oh my God. They start fighting once again. That's his son. They fight, and as Mickey takes he takes the gun, shoots him, and this falling down the stairs, I have a gif of it. I'm sorry, this is almost on par. I want to say I've shared this gif with you before of Tori Spelling's body double going down the stairs in 90210. It's really comical. He just like keeps going. And Mickey's so upset. We see Celeste looking down. Burnett is there right by the body, takes the gun and looks up at Celeste, who's looking down at him. Next scene, after the funeral, Mikey says it's an accident. He starts crying and it gets way more animated from here.
Where you going?
I want to change out of these depressing duds. I don't look so good in black.
It's so easy for you, isn't it? Just put on one of your new dresses and you'll forget everything.
I think you're forgetting something, Mickey. I didn't shoot him.
You bitch! It was you who caused it all!
Hey, easy does it, Iron Mike. I fixed your old man's death with the coroner. But if we start shipping him a body a day,
I'm sorry.
they're liable to catch on.
I can't believe her.
That's all right.
Sonny, I keep seeing his face.
Okay.
I can't forget it.
Take it easy.
So after he's broken up the fight, he takes Celeste behind a wall. There's maybe 6 feet of difference. Sorry, they're maybe 6 feet apart of distance. And is talking to her like he's not there. He can't hear everything.
Yeah, but we might need the creep to front for us for a while. So lay a little of that charm on him.
Sonny, I'm scared.
I'm Junior? Get real.
Of what's happening to you. You're becoming just like them.
Wrong. I'm nothing like them. No. The Carreras were a joke. And now they're history. Don't worry about me, baby. I'm on top of the world. And I plan on staying there. Now, go babysit the brat. I got a meeting to go to.
So Burnett is really going to a meeting. He's meeting with Comandante Salazar, who's not really getting along with El Gato. So he wants help from Burnett, and Burnett, in turn, wants airstrip access and customs clearance. Turns out that Comandante, surprise, surprise, is persona non grata in his country of origin, which they have not disclosed. They cut a deal. Let's go back to the mansion, because Burnett and Cliff are talking business. This is when Celeste pops out wearing a beautiful, like, sequined leopard print jacket, looking like $1 million. She's not happy because she's been waiting for him. I don't want to laugh at this scene because there is a little bit of, like, DV in it. She does hit him. She throws a bottle of champagne right by him, breaks. He's covered in champagne and doesn't flinch. It's not funny, but just the fact that he doesn't flinch. Obviously, this is scripted. He knows it was coming, but do I have a GIF of it? I'm sure I do. If, again, they're not an imager, I'll try to upload them onto Instagram and have some fun with it. She's not happy because she doesn't wait for nobody. She starts punching him and calling him a punk in a suit. Then he kisses her again really aggressively. It's really gross. Picks her up and carries her inside the room. Then back at OCB, Tubbs wants to go further with this and get closer to Burnett, hopefully trying to jog his memory, help him get back. Castillo warns him about it, and he basically says that Sonny isn't there and that he's fully embodying the Burnett persona. Now, before Cooper and Burnett meet at the end of the episode, let's check back in at the mansion and see how Mikey takes it. Surprise, surprise, he's not taking it well and holds Celeste at gunpoint as he points the gun to Burnett.
I know what you were doing in there. You think I don't know?
Easy, son.
You think I'm stupid? That it wouldn't catch on? You make love to my woman. You make me kill my father. And now you're trying to take over.
Miguel. It's not like that at all, man. You're the boss. I do what you tell me to do. Just gonna give you a little bump off the new shipment. Pure Peruvian.
Then Celeste screams out Sonny as she sees the shooter hiding in the bushes. It's the same guy that we saw El Gato talking to in the limousine. He shoots Mikey, and then Burnett shoots him. Burnett is telling Cliff that he thinks that Mikey hired him and that El Gato is definitely a reference. But who knows? Let's get to the last scene of the episode, very pivotal, where Burnett and Cooper are meeting again. Remember at OCB when Castillo was talking to Tubbs about this, Tubbs was able to get his good faith money. Now he's there. They're meeting at a lighthouse. They, again, just look at the staging for this scene. I kind of like it. It's very dark and spooky, and you can't really make out their faces that well. Like, you just see Burnett's hair kind of flying in the wind. You see Cooper a little bit better. He's a little bit more illuminated. And then, once again, Rico is trying to get through to him.
Sonny, don't you recognize me?
You're Cooper.
Sonny, it's me, Rico.
I love you, man.
Rico.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I know you. You're Tubbs.
That is quickly followed by gunshots as we see the guys outside waiting run to the lighthouse, and we see to be continued on the freeze frame. And that is the episode. Let's break it down. None of these will be surprises because I did not save anything for this segment. I said it all during the episode. But let's just recap. Best dressed, definitely going to give Celeste and her maillot. I've heard mayo as well, which is I don't know how it's actually pronounced. Sometimes when I listen to Australian podcasts, the way they pronounce French words just boggles my mind. And then I'm like, I should do better than that since I'm Canadian. But in this context, I am not. She just looks like $1,000,000. I don't know why I'm already getting downvoted on Imager by putting a literal model in a swimsuit on the... I don't know what you people want. Then for best and worst dressed in the same frame is Tubbs's outfit as Cooper is so wild with like the printed jacket and the... I don't really know if this is a Panama hat. Definitely Oscar Carrera has a Panama hat. Just juxtaposed with how suave and sleek, except for the ponytail, Burnett looks, I just thought was really funny. I also love the goons, Gato's goons, at the funeral. It's a very gold... You know what, to be fair, that is also how you should have a funeral, is like everyone dressed up in color. Because you got the gold shirt, you got some gold chains, you got lots of curls. It's just such a look. And then this is a proper Panama hat. Our ties for the wild card are Carrera about to fight with his son, whose like shirt is already ripped down, and you can see the ribbon that Mikey is using to tie his hair back. And you see Carrera with the really cool sunglasses, the striped suit, the Panama hat, the tie, looking like $1,000,000. It's just like the embodiment of old school Miami. But obviously it's a tie because how could I forget El Gato's morning outfit? Again, please go to the gallery and look at this. Vice Tea, again, I was just yapping this whole episode. But I was, as much as I was making fun of Mikey, the actor who plays him, Anthony Cravalho, won a Tony in 1993, so like not too long after this episode aired. So it's just a reminder, Miami Vice was one of his first roles. And look at him now. He was maybe 33 when this episode was filmed. Unfortunately, I am also of that similar age bracket. So just calling him college boy just made me laugh. Like, I too went to college at a very different time. I went to college when MySpace was around, you know? Oh, man. But we had a lot of heavy hitters this episode and a lot of like very esteemed character actors because El Gato was also played by a super recognizable guy, John Polito. Then we have Joe Santos, who is Oscar Carrera, and both those guys, super prolific. John Polito just worked a lot with the Coen brothers, so you'll see him in a lot of those titles. And Deborah Foyer doesn't really act anymore, and she hasn't in quite a long time. The last credit I could find for her on IMDb was from 2000, and that was a short. The last looks like full feature was from 1992. But she seems to be doing well, so good for her. Beautiful. And the pictures of her and Mickey Rourke. Whew, I know he was beating Corey Otis, so I hope he was not also doing the same with Deborah. But unfortunately, prognosis, outlook not good on that one, because Corey Otis wrote a book. And I remember her really vividly because I remember she came out as a plus-size model after doing so much damage to her body as a model. And she was modeling for Marina Rinaldi. Like, she was really putting herself out there, and she was so beautiful. And then I think it was around the same time her book came out, so I did hear a lot about the holes in her heart and dating Mickey Rourke and the domestic violence she suffered. So I just hope better, but she is great in To Live and Die in LA as Willem Dafoe's girlfriend, as Rick Masters' girlfriend. So definitely worth a watch. That can be weekend viewing. It's not streaming anywhere. If you have a video store or anywhere that rents videos, or definitely try to pick it up. Highly recommend. And with that, this episode is to be continued, but let's find a quote of the episode as we wrap things up.
Usted no tiene ganas.
Oh, all right. Quote 2. The more I listen to this clip, the more I hear hija, like daughter, not hijo. So that's even worse. Not even just calling your son the son of a whore, but you're calling him a daughter of a whore. Oh, man. Clip 3.
Is that there's a time and a place for everything. Now is the time for party, not for business.
Oh, man. On ethos-wise, I want to give it to Time for Party, but I still cannot get over the delivery of the...
Usted no tiene ganas.
I can't get over that delivery. And with that, we are wrapping up the first episode of Season 5. Honestly, thank you so much for joining me. I know it has been a long road, and we are almost there, and it has been a lot. This has been really fun to grow with all of you, to see all of you, to talk with all of you. I appreciate all the kind words, all the support. And you can find me on all things social at Vice and Easy Podcast. You can find me on YouTube, so don't forget to like and subscribe. And you can leave 5-star reviews on Apple Podcast. And you can like and subscribe on your podcast platform of choice. If you don't see me there, let me know and I will make it happen. Thank you as always for listening, and we'll see you next time. As always.
Hey man, Miami Vice is #1 new show.